Hello everybody, my name is Cameron and today I am back with another Villainous talking video. Today I am ranking, because yesterday I ranked the villains based on their character in the movies that they're in. Well, today I am ranking them based on the movie that they are in. So basically I'm ranking Disney movies, and it's cold in my house today, so I have my hoodie on. But okay, so in last place, seen this coming probably, Alice in Wonderland. I never liked Alice in Wonderland. I found it boring. Boring. That's all I have to say, is that it's just plain boring, and I never liked it. If I was going off the live action, it'd be higher, a decent margin higher. But I'm going off the animated because the animated is the original, where that Queen of Hearts and the Villainous game comes from. Next I have is Ursula. I said this in my video yesterday. I don't like the Little Mermaid movie. And honestly, the protagonists annoy me, especially Ariel. She is very annoying to me. I've learned through a few things that you should always listen to your parents, and I know she's trying to show you that you can dream, but look at all the trouble that she put herself and them in. She left her family for a man. You're not supposed to do that. And the movie itself, just don't like the movies. The only song I like in it is Under the Sea and Poor Unfortunate Souls. Kiss the Girl is I don't like that one. Anyways, next movie I have is Evil Queen. Snow White is a good movie. That's all I'm gonna say. It's just slightly more forgettable than the upcoming movies. I don't remember much about the Snow White movie, and I just watched it last year, recently. Again. So, that's saying something. Evil Queen, either way, the Snow White movie is a good movie. Her dynamics with the dwarves and the way she interacts with the dwarves, it can be funny. The dwarves are very fun characters, especially Dopey. One dwarf I don't like is Bashful. I'm not into characters that are super kind and cringy like that. So next character I have is Maleficent. I've actually seen Sleeping Beauty for the first time only at the beginning of last year. I watched it again recently just because I couldn't remember much of it. But Sleeping Beauty is a good movie. The princess herself doesn't have much to do in the movie. But what I like most about it is they actually had like climactic battle at the end, which I found kind of cool, the whole dragon thing. But either way, the movie's good enough, and the visuals for back in that time, they were just amazing for what visuals were. Next I have is Pete. From pretty much anything you want to go off, but I'm just gonna go off the Mickey Mouse, the little shorts like Steamboat Willie. Steamboat Willie, such a fun time to watch Steamboat Willie. It's so good. Seeing all the instruments and stuff like that, and all those Mickey Mouse shorts, they are really good. But there's not much to say about them except for the fact that they're black and white shorts. So that's all I'm gonna say about Pete. I like his more than these ones. Next villain I have is Lady Tremaine, which means Cinderella is the next movie on our list. I seen Cinderella for the first time last year too, because when I was young, I never paid attention enough to say whether I liked the movie or disliked the movie, but I always said I disliked it just so I didn't have to watch it again, because I know I wasn't going to pay attention to it. Well, when I started actually paying attention to movies when I was younger, I started really liking these movies. Well, I just watched Cinderella for the first time actually at the beginning of this year, and it was not bad. It was a surprisingly good movie for what I remember of it. Cinderella, it can get cringy at times with the way that Lady Tremaine treats her, but you're supposed to cringe at that. You're supposed to feel for Cinderella, and the villain just adds a lot to the movie, showing her lifestyle, and you could tell that Cinderella doesn't enjoy it, but in the end, she does end up winning. And it has that cult classic, iconic glass slipper falling off. Next, I have is Beauty and the Beast. I'm probably going to get a lot of hate for putting Beauty and the Beast this low. But Beauty and the Beast never really appealed to me that much. It's a good movie, don't get me wrong, but the movies above this one I just like better. And Gaston himself isn't that great of a villain. So, and also Belle. I never really got much from Belle. The Beast is a good enough character, but where the movie really gets good is the inanimate. How do you say that word? Inanimate objects like Lumiere and Cogsworth and Mrs. Potts and Chip and the dusters and the oven that scared the people away out of the castle. They're all just a fun time. Be Our Guest is a fun enough song. The Tale as Old as Time. I'm not into the cheesy, slow-paced songs like that, so I never really appeal to me. What I do like is the Gaston song. The Gaston song is good. And the song at the beginning, it's not one that I would say is my favorite, but it has that like dun 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 dun. Has that catchy beat to it. Next one I have is what is considered to be one of the darkest animated Disney movies, and that is The Black Cauldron. The Black Cauldron literally has a deleted scene of skeletons murdering people. A bloody scene of skeletons murdering people. That's how dark they went. And with all these dead people, throwing them into the cauldron, which is right here, and a bunch of soldiers, and Horned King has his reputation as the scariest Disney villain of all time. But the movie is a Dungeons and Dragons-esque. It's like the Dungeons and Dragons of Disney. Either way, it's a fun time. Gurgi annoyed me at the beginning of the film, stealing everything. But he lived up to his heroicness. He did good with his character. And that sacrifice at the end, when you're always just so... Everybody who watched it, they're always so happy when Gurgi comes back to life. When I get him played on me in the game, or Gurgi sacrifice, I say otherwise. But either way, I was happy when Gurgi came back at the end of the film. Next, I have Captain Hook from Peter Pan. So Peter Pan's the next... Peter Pan is a funny movie, and I really do like the movie. But aside from the scenes without Captain Hook in it, it's just like, okay, so this is it. One thing I didn't like about the movie, Wendy is so annoying. She annoys me so much, and I have no idea why Wendy annoys me as much as she does, but she just does. But the scenes with Captain Hook have always been the best scenes, because Captain Hook is the comedic. Tinkerbell also had some funny murderous moments. I doubt anybody coming up to that moment expected Tinkerbell to be a murderous fairy, but it gets kind of funny when she's like trapped in the drawer trying to get out. It's a good time. Next I have is Robin Hood. Robin Hood is also, like all these, very good movie. Robin Hood I didn't like when I was younger, but I watched it recently, and I watched it about 5 times in 1 week. It's like I have a totally new opinion on it. And I'm like, okay. So I did end up coming to like Robin Hood. And I still really like Robin Hood. It's a really good movie. Prince John is one of the weaker things of it. Maid Marian can also... It was just... The only bad thing about Maid Marian is kind of cringy when in the middle of the battle she's over here like, can you marry me? I was like, what? Why at this moment? No, wait, Robin Hood asks that. Okay, that's what Robin Hood did. And seeing Lady Cluck just bust all those rhinos out of her way, that was an amazing scene. Like, little chicken going up against like dozen rhinos, and she's just throwing them all out of the way. The Sheriff of Nottingham is a great character. You actually feel more sinister from him than Prince John a lot of the time. And they brought back Kaw from the Jungle Book as Sir Hiss. And when you figure out that Prince John is a false king, and you're like, oh yeah, this guy's going to have to be stuck. King Richard comes back, and you see them at the end there. There's also the two vultures, Trigger and... See everyone's name. Is his name like Lucky or something? Trigger and somebody else. I think his name was Lucky, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, Robin Hood is a very good movie, and I'll watch anytime. Next movie I have up here is 101 Dalmatians. I just watched this movie for the first time at the beginning of the year, too. Actually, I think this was the movie I recently just saw except Black Widow. I seen Black Widow in theaters. Actually, it was funny because it said coming out in theaters July 9th, but they ended up putting it out in theaters on July 8th at 9:30, and I was the very first person in the theater. So at my movie theater, where I live, I was the first person to see it in theaters, which I found really cool. And it didn't disappoint, but you'll see the Taskmaster will be coming up here eventually. But let's talk about 101 Dalmatians. So Cruella de Vil is obviously one of the best parts of 101 Dalmatians. She is by far one of the most iconic and loved Disney villains. But also the dogs are charming. The puppies are charming, even though a lot of them don't have many personalities. They give personalities to a few. Seeing that one puppy die, you're over here like, oh no, they just killed off a puppy. But then Roger revives it, and you're like, oh, yay! So Roger and Anita are really good, and Nanny's a good character. Horace and Jasper, they're just a really fun duo of dimwits. They remind me of the robbers from Home Alone, kind of, for some reason. They actually kind of look like the robbers from Home Alone. Like, you compare them side by side, it's kind of the same, almost. I think they could be cast as, like, the live-action ones. Were they? I think my sister mentioned something about that. Them being, like, the same duo. Hold on, I'm going to look this up. Let's see here. Hold on a second. Home Alone cast. Okay. I don't know any of the names, so I'm going to look up who played the robbers. Harold Harry Lime and Marvin Marv Merchants, also known as the Wet Bandits later, as the Sticky Bandits are simply known as Harry and Marv. Okay, I'm going to look up the cast again, see if I can find them. Marv Merchants, Daniel Stern. Okay. 101 Dalmatians. Here you go, live action. Cast. Does not look like it. Okay, that would be cool. Okay, well, my sister lied to me. She mentioned something about them being like, she thought they were the same people, but at the same time, she's also 7 years old and probably just made it up, so I don't know why I believed her. But whenever Cruella de Vil's on screen, you know that something's about to happen, and she's just a truly cruel villain. Her name literally means cruel devil. And she's over here like, do what you want with them, drown them, bash, it's like, bash them in the head, drown them, do you have any chloroform? I can't remember the line exactly, because it's been a little bit. But it's nevertheless a good movie. How Anita and Roger met up was kind of funny. Seeing Pongo's a little bit of a simp for a dog. Next, I have Jafar. I'm going off the animated Aladdin. Don't you freaking dare mention a live-action one. Jafar is also one of the best parts of Aladdin, but for Aladdin, we cannot forget the real reason most people watch Aladdin. the genie. The late and great Robin Williams, he brought so much to the character of Genie, and the Genie is known to Robin Williams as a Genie is known today as one of the smartest and best casting choices Disney could ever make. Robin Williams made such an iconic appearance as a genie, and after you watch Aladdin, even for the first time when you're just like a young kid, just like the genie sticks with you in your mind. And that rubbing the lamp, stuff like that, and Jafar sticks with you, Aladdin sticks with you. Jasmine, she's... Jasmine. Raja the Tiger is really good. Abu, don't get me started on Abu, he freaking annoyed me. He ruined so much in that film. Stealing got them in so much trouble in a few sequences in the movie. But one of the best things about Aladdin is the songs. It's like one jump. It's like the one jump song. There's the beginning song, the Arabian Night. That's really good. Prince Ali, one of my favorite Disney songs. I know the lyrics. I know the lyrics word for word, but I ain't about to sing for you. A Whole New World, like I said, I'm not a big fan of those cheesy love songs like that, but it is known as one of the most iconic, most memorized songs that Disney or the whole world has ever put out. So, and also that scene with Jafar turning into a cobra at the end was really fun. The Sultan is kind of a dimwit, but either way, he's fun too. But, yeah. Oh, and can't forget to mention Iago. Iago, he's over here. I'm gonna shove crackers in his face once we get to rule and stuff like that, and how he tricked Aladdin into getting the lamp. It's just... Iago's also a very fun character. Next, Why? My hand started cramping. That was weird. Ow. Hurts. Okay. Next I have Dr. Facilier, Princess and the Frog. Princess and the Frog, didn't like it too much at first because it was a musical, and it's still a musical, but the songs are good enough to get past. The charming characters, especially Ray, one of the biggest Disney sins is Dr. Facilier killing Ray at the end of the movie. Lewis is a very good character. Mama Odie is also a very good character. Tiana is a good enough character, and I know she inspired a lot of people out there. Not me, though, because I don't take inspiration. Naveen is useless as can get out in the movie. Lawrence had a cool little transition. You gotta feel for Lawrence, though, being humiliated constantly by Naveen. I mean, Naveen kind of deserved it, but at the same time, he kind of didn't, because he was never taught when he was older. But that's why he got thrown out of the house, because he wouldn't teach himself. Big Daddy LaBeouf, he's fun. Charlotte's okay. But the songs are good too. Friends on the Other Side is one of the most iconic and remembered Disney villain songs. Almost There is just a fun, energetic tune that gets stuck in your head. So does Dig a Little Deeper. Dig a Little Deeper is also one of my favorite songs in the movie. They also have some of those slow songs like Evening Star and stuff like that. Those, not too big a fan of, but of course I'm not a fan of these. Next I have is the Emperor's New Groove. Emperor's New Groove. The fourth wall breaking, iconic, comedic, hilarious tale about an emperor who had everything, but wasn't grateful for everything. He had a tyrant who ruined the lives of others, gets poisoned by a proof that dinosaurs once ruled the earth with her henchman Kronk, figures out the Kronk got the wrong poison, accidentally gets Kuzco through the woods. Kuzco's still alive. Kronk fails to kill him. Pacha befriends Kuzco, and then they go through the woods together, arguing their way so Kuzco won't destroy his house when he's back to a human, and Kuzco learns to respect people again. Emperor's New Groove has always been a fun movie. That's all I can say about it, really. It has the cool, like, Egyptian style. But we all know that the Emperor's New Groove is made for comedy. Isma is a fun, grumpy, hilarious villain. Pacha and his family, they're all fun characters. Especially the mother. The mother's over here like, the doorknob's missing, are you sure? That was fun. Kuzco was annoying at the beginning, but still good character. He learned in the end, but we can't forget everybody's favorite part about the movie, and that's Kronk. Kronk, he's so fun, just failing to kill Kuzco. He's so dumb. He's almost no brain, but Kronk every time he steals the show. He stole the show for pretty much the whole movie. Okay, so the next, I'm gonna run out of time. I still have some archive videos and not much storage space on my tablet, so I'm getting close to the max. Okay, so next I have Ratigan from The Great Mouse Detective. A Sherlock Holmes spin-off of Disney. Well, yeah, the Disney's version of Sherlock Holmes. Great Mouse Detective. It's about a girl who got her father kidnapped, who's a toy maker, kidnapped by a bat. Went to Basil with Dawson to find Basil, and then figure out that the bat is a minion of Professor Ratigan. Meet Professor Ratigan. Figure out that he has the toy maker building something. Sends Fidget out, his bat, for gears and uniforms, and the little girl. Little girl to trap Flaversham. Uniforms that look like the uniforms for the Queen's Guards. Gears for whatever Flaversham is building. Flaversham's the toy maker, by the way. Figures out that Ratigan is making a robot queen to nominate him as the king. And kill the Mouse Queen with his big cat Felicia. They also have a dog named Toby who's not too fond of Dawson, doesn't listen to Basil all that great, but loves Olivia. And Ratigan is such a fun villain. He doesn't get as much screen time as a lot of the villains do, but he was like the only one who could outsmart Basil. Fidget's a good villain, the ruffians are cool, World's Greatest Criminal Mind. It's like the only song in the film, and it's really good. The Big Ben chase scene is also really fun, I like that. And the whole castle is really good. Wonder what happened to Felicia. She might be dead. The cat might be dead. I don't know. But Ratigan always has that intimidating presence, and Basil, Dawson, and Olivia, they're all fun protagonists that you enjoy every time they're on the screen. Next I have is Hercules. Hercules, believe it or not, was the first Disney film I ever saw, which was cool. So it's always stuck with me. But Hades brings so much. Hercules is good, Megara is good, Phil is good, Danny DeVito is always a good time. The way you meet them, Pegasus is good, the Titans are good. Everything about the movie is good. It's comedic, has the songs, there's all the Greek references, and one thing that I am very into is Greek mythology. I like Greek mythology. But I have to rush through these, so that's pretty much all I have to say. Very good movie. Next movie I have is The Lion King. Fudge. Excuse me. Lion King, probably the most iconic Disney film. The treacherous uncle who kills the poor lion becomes father to get the throne, goes out into the desert, finds Puma, has probably the most iconic Disney song of all time, Hakuna Matata. Unlike a lot of these films with all these songs in them, Lion King, every song is just a boomer. It hits perfectly. All the songs. I Wanna Be King, Circle of Life, Hakuna Matata, Be Prepared. every song in The Lion King hits perfectly. Can You Feel the Love Tonight? Once again, it's a lovey-dovey song, and I say I don't like those, but I actually like the song Can You Feel the Love Tonight. Simba's a good character. Mufasa's a good character. Sarabi is a okay character. Nala's an okay character. Zazu's a bad character. Oh, no, I'm just kidding. He's an okay character. Scar is an amazing character. Timona's an amazing character. And Puma's an amazing character. Rafiki's an amazing character. The hyenas are amazing characters. Every character in The Lion King, they stick with you. You remember them. You remember their scenes. You remember some of their lines, too. Like, you remember the elephant graveyard setting. It's just a tale about growing up and leaving your grief and guilt behind, and you don't have to worry. Like, Hakuna Matata means no worries. And Lion King has always been an amazing film. Next movie I have is Mother Gothel, Tangled. The last of the Disney movies, villains, so you see none of the Marvel. Tangled is my favorite Disney movie. Not Marvel, I'm talking about like OG Disney, not anything they bought like Pixar, Star Wars, and Marvel. Tangled has always been my favorite Disney film. From the characters, to the villain, to even Rapunzel, they're all very fun characters. Flynn Rider is my favorite Disney protagonist. He's hilarious, because I feel like I have a lot of his sarcastic nature. I use sarcasm a lot. The Stabbington brothers, Sideburn Stabbington and Patchy Stabbington, working with Mother Gothel after Flynn Rider betrays them. They're cool. Maximus, he's so fun. Maximus has a great love-hate bromance with Flynn Rider. Rapunzel's cool. And like this one, most of the songs hit. Everyone Has a Dream is a very good song. I like all the beers, like Flynn Rider's like, I don't sing, they all just draw their swords. It's just a very fun film. And seeing that, and they have that Flynn Rider cuts Rapunzel's hair at the end of it, the plot twist there, and you're like, oh, what did he just do? But, yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so now we're getting into the Marvel villains, I like all the Marvel movies that these guys are in better than these Disney movies, but I still like these Disney movies a lot. Have Killmonger. Black Panther is the highest grossing Marvel film besides all 4 Avengers movies. And reason for that is Killmonger. One of the many reasons for that is Killmonger. Black Panther also got nominated for a Best Picture. And the late and great Chadwick Boseman, who passed away tragically last year. Chadwick Boseman was a legend. You can't get better than Chadwick Boseman. He was one of the best casting decisions that the MCU has ever made. And there is literally no way, no how, you can replace a legend like Chadwick Boseman in the role. He brought so much to that character, and he was so good. And there was also a whole bunch of characters that were good. Some of the characters, though, they could have done a little better, like Okoye and T'Challa's ex. And at the beginning there, you get that little storyline. It's kind of confusing, but when you see Killmonger, you're like, oh, they brought back Ulysses Claw. Killed him off a little too early for me. I really wish because he was in 2 movies, Age of Ultron and Black Panther. But I kind of wish we just got more out of him. Okay, next I have is Taskmaster, the most recent of these movies to come out. So Black Widow is a more mature film. It doesn't explain to you at all why she's on the run from the law, so you'd have to know that she's on the run from Civil War because they won't say anything about it. She goes and meets up with her family, but Black Widow, the problem with Black Widow is that there's nothing wrong with Scarlett Johansson, it's just that her character is one of the least interesting characters in her movie, but that's because she's not a fun character. She's always has that, like, look on her face, and it's because she's troubled by her past. Then you get Yelena in here, and she's kind of like, spoilers here, she kind of like gets on the floor and she's like, why do you do that thing every time you land? He's like, you strike a pose, and she's like, you're trying to get down, striking a pose. Red Guardian seems like kind of an a-hole at first. I didn't like him at first, but judging by the trailers, I knew he was going to get funny, and he does get funny, and he does live up. The mother, they could have done some more with the mother, But the dying of the film is the villains. I was so excited for Taskmaster. He barely has screen time. Like, you take every scene that you saw of Taskmaster in the actual, like, official Black Widow trailers, enlarge those by, like, 2 minutes, and that's every scene that Taskmaster is in. So, they oversold him in the trailers. They showed him having all these good scenes, but in reality, he really just doesn't have that many scenes. But either way, Black Widow is a fun time, and it's a more mature film, involves a lot of family stuff. Next I have here, surprisingly, is Age of Ultron. I said that Age of Ultron I liked better than any Avengers movie. But there is one movie I like more than it, and then Thanos is in 2 movies that come together I like better than most movies. Age of Ultron is very fun. Age of Ultron is indeed a good movie. Comedic, one of the more comedic of the Avengers movies. I have I have only 2 minutes left on my video runtime here, so I had to go through it. But Avengers, more comedic, more stuff from the heroes, bigger. Well, not really. So next one I have here is Hela from Thor Ragnarok. Thor Ragnarok is my favorite Marvel film. It's great. Thor Ragnarok is great. Hilarious. Hela's a good villain. Odin dies, which was kind of sad. Doctor Strange comes in and he's kind of funny. Thor, Loki being his kind of anti-hero. I wasn't expecting the whole Grandmaster Xandar thing to be all that great, but it was actually good. You meet Valkyrie, who's a drunken, kind of fun protagonist to have, and it's all just super fun. They have to make the decision at the end to decide to destroy their home, and it's kind of like, you know, sad to see them have to burn it up, but then you see a special ending, and you're like, you see Thanos' ship, and you're thinking when you see that movie, it's like, yeah, we're in the end game now. I did just quote Doctor Strange, I know. But number 1 is Avengers 1. Avengers Age of Ultron. Guardians of the Galaxy. Avengers Infinity War. And Avengers Endgame. Thanos has been in 5 movies total in the MCU. Once in a special ending in Age of Ultron, and then there's the scenes of him in the Avengers. There's a scene of him in Guardians of the Galaxy. There's a whole thing with Infinity War and Endgame. All these movies combined, they're just some of the best movies of the MCU. And Thanos, ever since you've seen Thanos, the big purple grape, you're over here like, oh yeah, this is where it's going down. But anyways, I have 24 seconds left. So I will see you all in the next video. But yeah, all those movies, they're just legendary, highest grossing films of all time, and they're just very, very good. So Thanos comes in at number 1. I'll see you guys all in the next video. Bye-bye. You know what? Actually, I'm just going to hit the video limit here. 5, 4, 3, 2...